Welcome to the Taco Sandwich podcast. My name is Rafa. My co-host Angel Lorenzano couldn't make it tonight. And tonight we have a very special guest, one of the tallest comedians that I know here in Lubbock, Texas, Mr. Jason.
Hey, what's up, y'all?
So Jason, tell us a little about yourself. Let's pretend nobody knows you. No, obviously, no one does, but tell us about you. You're from Lubbock.
From Lubbock.
You grew up over here.
I did. I grew up in Lubbock. I went to Lubbock Christian. Then I went to Richard Milbourne. And then I got into computer programming, and I'm just a nerd, dude. Like, to be honest.
You graduated from Texas State?
No, I'm currently actually going back to finish up with my plan at South Plains.
South Plains.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because so like the concept of it seems better, right? Because you have these lecture halls where sometimes there's like 300 or 400 people, but then at South Plains you have like 32, 34 students in your class and stuff like that. So then that way, if you have any questions or anything that you need answered, your instructor is more likely to know who you are instead of just being like 200. You know what I mean?
I understand.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're a nerd. You admit that. How did you got to be a nerd? When do you remember you started? That's the way you were born, or what?
So one of the things that I think qualifies it is that, like, okay, so I'm really bad with like years and stuff, but I'll remember like based off of what game I was playing at the time. Right? Yeah, no, like
that's
for real.
A nerd right
yeah,
there.
Dude, right? Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so what was your first video game? Talk to me.
First game that I ever really played was the game. It was on the Sega Master System. It was called Paperboy, where you're running and then you have a line and then you have to run through it and then you have to time it and you have to hit the front doors of all these people's houses and you're a paperboy. You're on a route.
Okay.
You can be either late and like hit the bushes, or you can be early and you can like hit windows and stuff like that. It's a great game.
Are you on a bike or something?
Yeah, you're on a bike, but you're just spamming.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is on the Sega Master System.
So we're talking about 2000?
No, dude.
1990 something? What?
Because I'm 33, so 1994 or something like that. But I have an older brother who like taught me the ways.
Okay,
so,
I got you.
Yeah.
Okay. My first video game, by the way, was Pong.
Pong?
Yeah.
Nice.
Bro, you gotta understand. I'm very old.
Right.
And I don't know if it was the first video game, but that was the first video game that I ever saw.
Boom, boom. Yep.
It was more than magical. I couldn't believe it that I was able to move something that it was inside the TV. Mm-hmm. That was unheard of. That was exactly. That was crazy.
Yeah.
And it was fascinating. And also, it wasn't that easy either. It was, the controllers were all fucked up. Right. So you're really struggling with that shit. And then you discover you can hit it with the tip of the little line right there, and then it goes bananas. And it's like, wow, the first thing that happened, what was that? You know what I mean?
Right.
So that shit was incredible.
Dude, so good, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and then Galaga and all that kind of stuff. That was
like Galaxian,
huge.
Dude.
That was huge.
Yeah, dude, that was
days.
so good.
Yeah.
That was one of my favorites. My favorite, probably like from that era and everything like that, would be like Miss Pac. Like Miss Pac-Man.
Of course, yeah.
Dude, that game is so much fun. I love that game.
That was addictive. That was addictive as
so
fuck,
was Tetris too. Tetris.
I didn't get too much in Tetris.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good one. You make lines.
I don't know, my OCD thing, it wouldn't let me, like,
really?
It was too much.
Oh, dude, it honed mine in. It was like, we're going to make these 4 stacks.
No, I got more into video games a lot more later on when they started with Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, which one?
All of them. I loved all of them. And then we also hit, what was the name of that one? Medal of Honor and stuff like that.
So you got a PlayStation?
Shooters, yes, definitely.
Yeah. See,
I have always preferred one console. I mean, I had them all, to tell you the truth.
Right.
But I have always preferred PlayStation. I don't know why.
Really?
Yeah.
Like
some of my friends, they didn't like Xbox.
Yeah, Xbox is great because it was so much more innovative for the time, like the PS2 compared to the original Xbox, because it had that internal drive, so you didn't have to have a memory card.
But it was more user-friendly for whatever reason, or at least to me and the way I function, to me was more user-friendly. It's kind of like iPhone and Samsung or whatever.
Android or
iPhone?
Your iPhone?
Yeah,
Gross,
you see?
Dude, no way.
You see? That's but then again, we might have a different process. We have a different type of brain. So for you, it fits you the way you like your stuff, and mine is different.
Yeah, well, and like I've had a Google account for forever, so it's like I kind of got like stuck with it. I don't know. I had the so I did have the iPhone 4 a long time ago, but it was so small.
So you had it in your hands.
Yeah, dude, I had the iPhone 4, and then it felt like a toy because it was like so tiny, and my fingers were so are big, and like I kept fat fingering everything, so I was like, nope. Android, and it's just been Android all day.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, they have some cool Androids that I see that wow, that looks super cool.
Yeah.
But I'm so used to the iPhone that it's just
I don't
no
blame
way.
you. Yeah,
There's no way.
everybody else, yeah.
I don't know how the other shit. I barely know how this function. The other one, forget about it.
Right.
So then, you become a video gamer. Obviously, you got addicted to it.
I did.
Have you been in any competitions, or have you ever?
I have.
Oh yes, where?
Okay, so I went to DreamHack Dallas. I've been to DreamHack Dallas over the past couple years, and that was really fun. And they have like community games, and then you can go in and you can play things like I played Smash Bros. And then I played Street Fighter Third Strike, great games. And then they have this thing called the BYOC, which is the craziest concept. Okay, so imagine just like 200 people, right? And everybody has their computers, and it doesn't close down for 3 days, right?
You own it for 3 days.
You can be on it for 3 days and stuff like that. And like nothing happens. There's you have 48 like 72-hour access. They're running tournaments all the time. They're doing all kinds of crazy games, and it's like an old like LAN party. Did you ever experience like the LAN parties?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Where like you get together with a bunch of friends, right?
Okay.
And then you all bring like your consoles or your PC, whatever, and then you all connect up to the same network, and then from there you all play the same games with each other, and it's like in house. Dude, we used to do it all the time. It was one of the greatest experiences of my life, but it's a dying fashion because of the way that online gaming is going. Which I mean, it's cool. Call of Duty's great, but like it's not happening as much anymore because.
The only thing that's kind of close to that is when we play Rock Band and Guitar Hero.
Yeah.
Which we have a couple of neighbors with the drum set and the other
Same
guys with the
concept,
guitars,
dude.
that kind of shit. We all got hooked up all together and we tried to play, you know what I mean, cool songs and shit. And actually that helped me a lot, tell you too, because I made a connection with my son.
Oh, nice.
And he liked that kind of music too. And I grew up with that kind of music, you know what I mean?
Right.
So it was awesome whenever we played the two of them, the Rock Band and Guitar Hero. So that was a cool bonding experience with me and my son.
That was fun. Those are good games, dude.
Yeah.
That's some good stuff. Yeah.
So what do you have nowadays? What you're telling me about the VR?
Oh, okay. So
VRI and stuff like that.
So I've been doing comedy, like stand-up comedy in VR at this
Okay.
place. Shout out Felder Render, and So they have mics every single night of the week. They're on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. They're open mics where you can go up and there's a sign-up sheet. It's like the #1 comedy club in VR because they treat it so well. Like if somebody's talking, like it's a big like they avoid turning it into like a big chat room, and it's a good community, and it's been around for long enough to where people know not to like come in and talk because then they'll get kicked. So
Okay.
like it's really interesting, but there's like these like subtle differences and everything like that.
So help me out. How many audience members do you have there, or are they just comedians shooting
Between 40, 50, 60 people show up. They're not comedians. Like
they're
probably
not
like
comedians.
12, 13 of them are comedians.
Okay.
So like there's
So it's almost a good comedy show type of. Okay,
it's really cool.
that's awesome.
And it's interesting because there's a voice latency like we were talking about
Mm-hmm.
where so you tell a joke and then you have a 2-second delay before the joke hits for them, and then it returns back with the laughs. So you have that whole time. It's different.
It's kind of like the guy from Al Jazeera. They're asking him, "Oh, go ahead, Joe." Oh yeah, Cindy, over here in fucking Gaza and shit like that, right?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Yeah, you get it.
It's a little delay.
So much delay, man. But it's cool once you get the hang of it, and it really helps you like sculpt like the punchlines and everything, like where you think a joke is gonna be, because it shows it.
Okay.
Because you have the difference between that and like in real life comedy is that you have the joke, and then if it goes well, it goes well, and then like they're either laughing or they're quiet right afterwards. But you have the time for it to be quiet that makes you rethink your whole joke and joke structure. Dude,
I don't know if I
it's
can
so
do
great.
that.
Dude, it's fun, man.
Really?
It becomes like a game. Yeah, it's fun.
Okay, are you able to watch the avatars of the people who are in the audience members per se?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, is there any way to monetize that? Like, if they pay you with stars or
No.
with thumbs
No,
up or hearts, or is there a way where the audience can, besides laughing?
Oh, like tipping and stuff like that? No, not yet. Not that I know of. But
Okay.
they make money based off of people in the room at one time. That's why everybody should go and look at Failed to Render on both MetaQuest and VR Chat, and then also check out the Brainwash because it's based off of attendance, how much they get paid.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay. So in order to get into that, you need to have the VR set, right? Correct. Now you use that with your computer, PlayStation, Xbox, or what do you use?
It's standalone, but I have a PC that I use sometimes. But you can just get it on the Quest. It's on the store.
Oh, Quest. Okay.
Like the Quest 2 is what I have, but there's the Quest 3 now. I just really am not like, I don't know. VR has always been weird for me because I have a neck problem. I have cervical spine fusion in my vertebrae, so I can't move at all. So the adding like an extra like 6 pounds onto my head is
So that kind of hurts. Yeah, I can see that.
But it's great. I mean, the comedy is great. I mean, not the
Okay. When do you start doing it?
I want to say like December.
So still kind of new. Okay. All right.
But I've been at it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's based out of the United States or which country?
Out of Austin.
It's based out of Austin, Texas.
Shout out Kyle Render.
Okay. And from there, it's worldwide, like you mentioned?
Everywhere.
Okay.
Everywhere you can access the VR Chat or the MetaQuest or the Meta Horizons Worlds. Yeah, that's what it's called.
Do you see that as something that's going to grow? Like before you know it's going to be thousands of people in the audience and shit like that?
I believe that's the way it's going to go because it's set up so well. And like the way that everyone's going, everybody's getting MetaQuests and like VR stuff. So because as like the generations get older.
Any famous comedians getting into this or not yet?
He has worked with Howie Mandel and Kenan Thompson.
Okay.
Is what I know so far. And then there's just a bunch of comedians in there from everywhere, dude. It's really cool.
That's good to know.
Yeah, it's interesting, dude, because like you can really see like if a joke is funny based off of like the different places where people actually have some people from like the UK there, and then it's all around the world.
The only thing that throws me off because I'm a bit of an actor per se, so when I do my stand up or my storytelling, I utilize either props or my body language or my facial expressions and stuff like that, which I'm not going to be able to.
You can do your hands. You have the hands.
Really?
Your hands, and then you can kind of do like a thing where you like kind of walk around, and then you can like move yourself around.
Really? Okay, okay. So there's a bit of that. Okay. All right. I guess I can deal with that. I would love to try it at least once.
It's fun, dude.
To see how it feels.
Yeah.
That'll be awesome.
Yes, sir.
I also know from you that you're an investor. You're into Bitcoin and all that kind of stuff.
Yes, Bitcoin. That's crazy, dude. Oh, speaking of that, did you see that GameStop acquired like 4,000 Bitcoin or something like that? Just like recently? That's crazy.
I heard that they were going under.
GameStop?
Yeah.
Because they had that short out of the stocks that happened. When was that? During the pandemic? I don't know nothing about that. That's crazy.
And now with the tariffs and all that bullshit.
Yeah, which is wild because it's just making more it's not.
And also now you can download your games. You don't have to go to you know what I mean? So there's a lot of stuff that they've been getting hit left and right.
Right.
So in order to stay in business, it's got to be tough.
And then Nintendo is doing stuff, which is weird. They're making it to where they can sell they can sell you a cartridge, and then it's not actually going to have a game on the cartridge. It's just going to have a key that you can access the game and install it on there. So like really like the game, but it's still like the piece of hardware.
In a way, that's very smart because it's cheaper to put like a code in there instead of downloading the whole fucking video game and that stuff.
I mean, I guess, right?
But these guys are geniuses, bro.
Dude, that's going to ruin it because then they're going to make it like single release games and stuff like that.
No, the only problem is somebody hacks that kind of shit or they create their own keys or passcodes, you know what I mean? And I can sell you the passcode for like, I don't know, $50 instead of paying $100 for the whole video game, right?
Yeah, it's like $90 now or $80 or something like that.
That's why I run it to $100 because that's exactly where it's going.
Yeah. The next thing I'm really looking forward to is the new Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, everybody's hearing about it, bro.
Dude, they've delayed it so many times, man.
Is it going to be work based in when? Because the last one, was it LA or Vegas? What was the last one?
It was Liberty City, right? No, because...
I don't remember to tell you the truth.
Los Santos.
It was LA.
It was
okay.
Los Santos. And then so this one, I think it's either going to be, I think it's going to be in Liberty City, but I don't know. Those games are good, dude.
Oh, they're amazing.
So good. I saw that the main protagonist character is Jason, and I was like, yeah, let's go. One for us. And he was just getting laid all the time in the trailer too, so I was like, yeah.
That's the Jason and
That's right there. But then he talks and he like drives like an oversized truck, and I was like, oh, dude, this guy's kind of a douchebag, but he gets laid. You know?
Is it a bit of a redneck or what?
I don't know, dude. I know that they're supposed to have like gators and stuff in this new one.
Have they show any previews of this thing?
A couple of them, but nothing really of significance.
Is it supposed to be released this year, Christmas?
Next year. They moved it back already because it was supposed to be out like last week or something like that, quote unquote, from like a year ago.
I was suspecting Christmas or right before Christmas.
Right. Yeah, no, they moved it back until May of next year, dude. I was like, man.
Oh, they must having technical difficulties and stuff like that. Because that's too many months. They're missing a lot of sales right there.
Right, and then they're also not, from what I read, they're also not releasing on the PC. They're just releasing on the consoles first, which is weird. But
how do you feel about that PC versus the console?
I think
I have always loved the console and their controls. To tell you the truth, that's just my opinion.
Yeah, I think that they each have their own place. You know what I mean? Like,
what's the advantage with the PC?
With the PC is the alleged like mouse and keyboard advantage, but then like you play on PC games and stuff like that, and then you get people that are like fucking controller players, dude. Fuck, and like it's really just like shifting on the scale. But Call of Duty has this like aim assist on it now. It's weird. I haven't played in a while. Where like you can like point at someone and then they can move and it'll like automatically trace them to a certain extent. Yeah, dude. Like just in the game. And then also weird thing about Call of Duty is that Blizzard, you gain access into everybody's microphone whenever they install your game, whether that the game is active or not, and I think that's weird. But
that is weird.
It is weird, right? And so there's like 32 bootstraps, which are like processes that boot whenever the PC comes on, and one of them is they have access to your microphone and like your camera and shit. And it's kind of weird.
I don't like that shit.
Dude, that's weird, right? That's what I was saying. But Call of Duty is fun.
Yeah, no, feeling your privacy invaded is just
it's kind of weird, right? And like some games don't have it at all.
I don't know.
And then the file size just keeps going up too. The file size of
that's one of the things that I hate about PlayStation 5, to tell you the truth, that you had to wait a day sometimes just for this shit to download and shit. And I'm like, whoa, wait a second.
What happened to put in
the game and press start and you're there in 10 seconds, you know? I mean, what happened
to be like that.
Yeah.
That used to be on the disc. That's the same thing. It's like, I mean, I guess you really can't get that mad at like the Switch because Xbox is doing it too. Mm-hmm. Everybody's doing it. But I don't know. I'm on the Xbox side. You're on the PlayStation side. I'm on the Xbox side.
Definitely.
Yeah, because dude, you don't have Halo. I mean, I guess technically you do now because I think that Halo came on the PlayStation.
Now they're doing that stuff where it can be in both consoles and shit.
And then like Gears of War, that's a fun game. That's like a third person.
Yeah, but sometimes you got to remember it was just one or two games that the other console didn't have access to.
Yeah.
And PlayStation have a bigger library.
Yeah. But you don't have Halo. You didn't have Halo, dude. You didn't have Halo. You didn't, dude.
Yeah, but like I said, it's just one or two that it was just exclusive to them, and that was it.
So were you playing like Final Fantasy? Is that what you were playing?
No, and I kind of hate those. I don't know how do you go because I'm terrible with the terminology. You know, one of those things where you got like a magic potion or whatever, and you have a character, and you go, ha! And then it comes back, and then it has some numbers or whatever.
You don't like turn-based RPGs?
The damage. Exactly. What the fuck is that all about?
Because whenever you're chilling, playing the game.
And then come back, and then some damage.
And then you got to read and read and read.
Yeah, I don't like to read. That's why I like video games.
No reading around here.
Exactly. And they had these tournaments. You know, I happened to be. I took my son once to Vegas.
Oh yeah.
And they were having one of those conventions, and
those are fun, right, dude?
Well, I didn't get to see much. First of all, we didn't know what the fuck was going on, but because we saw them, you know, with the little lanyard or whatever, and then we saw them carrying their
controllers, and the fight sticks,
and it's like that's when we know it's like, oh, wait a second, this is a video game controller. There's a bunch of them, and there are a lot of Asians, tons of Asians, And I'm like, okay. So then later on, we found out, okay, that they have a tournament and they have a convention. They have like the whole week of this shit with video games and stuff like that.
Yeah, like, it's really cool. And then that's also like a...
Have you attended one of those?
Like not in Vegas, no, but I have in Denver and in Dallas.
Okay.
Yeah. Vegas one would be cool though. I've only been to Vegas one time. You want to hear a funny story about whenever I went to Vegas? Okay, so I went to Vegas in 2000. When was the first when we were young? The first, you know, that emo Coachella that everybody was talking about that got canceled the first day. I went to, dude, yeah.
I remember hearing about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I went to that. I went to Vegas for that. And we pull up because I've never been to Vegas. I had no idea what to expect, anything like that.
Where did you stay to begin with?
Oh, we stayed at the Strat.
At the what?
The Stratosphere.
Oh, the Stratosphere. Oh, good hotel. I don't have a problem with that.
No, but
I actually jump out of the.
Dude, I would totally do
that. That was awesome.
It wasn't open, man. It wasn't open.
Wasn't open yet?
No, dude, I was trying to go up there. I was like, hell yeah, dude, why not? You know, I'll ride the thing that takes you off the side.
Experience.
Dude, that's what I, yeah, dude.
Cool experience.
And like they were just standing there, and the guy was just sitting there. He's like, it's not open, dude. I was like, man, the one time that I'm in Vegas.
I remember jumping, and it's like a free fall.
Yeah.
But then at the end, it's like slow down. It's like, okay.
Did you ride the roller coaster on the outside too?
Yes.
That's tight, dude. That's like, that's what I was going for more than.
No, and then they have the one on the antenna where they strap you.
Yeah.
And the problem with that one is
too.
that it shoots you up.
Uh-huh.
And then you get into this weightless kind of feeling. And the problem is like you cannot turn really back because of the strap.
Yeah.
And you don't know if you're in the antenna anymore. And that's what it kind of gets to you and it makes you scared. Like, oh, fuck, we're done. You know?
Yeah. How do you feel about amusement parks?
I love them.
You love amusement parks?
Oh,
I had a crazy ass experience in an amusement park.
No, but wait. We're going back to Vegas first.
Okay.
So you stayed at the Stratosphere, and then what happened?
So we stayed at the Stratosphere, but that wasn't until later. So we pull up on Fremont Street. I have no idea.
That is downtown Vegas.
Downtown Vegas, old Vegas, as they say. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know anything about Vegas. So I get out of the car.
Did they have the canopy? What year was this?
The 2020, 2021, maybe.
Okay, so they already have the canopy with all the light shows and all the zip lines and all that shit. Okay, gotcha.
It was cool, but I got out of Fremont Street thinking that was the Strip.
Oh,
yeah, bro. Dude. Yeah.
You went by yourself?
No, I went with two other people. I went with two of my coworkers.
And they had no idea.
No, they had no idea. They just didn't say anything. They thought I knew. Yeah, dude. So I was like walking around. I was just completely silent, right, for like 2 hours. We got some porkers.
You're like, this is it?
Yeah, dude. I was like, man, fuck Vegas, dude. We should have just gone to Rio Dosa, and it would have been so much closer, dude.
Wow.
Man. Yeah, and so I'm just walking around, and I'm like, first opinion was like, man, dude, Vegas sucks.
But the Stratosphere is on the Strip. Well, at the very end.
Because okay, so what happened was that I booked this hotel on Booking.com, and it looked like a house, right? But then whenever we got there, this is a fun story. Whenever we got there, it turns out that they overbooked the hotel by 45. And it was a house. It was like a big house and like a commune type thing. It was like some Quentin Tarantino ending at the end of the movie type shit. Like the gate was just like, and then it shut behind us, and then you had to get a code to open the gate and stuff like that. It was weird. It was like a commune, and they were like, "Oh, sorry, we overbooked by 40 people." And we were like, "What the fuck? You overbooked by 40 people?" We got because it was supposed to be the whole end of this house, right? Like I was supposed to have a room, and then they were supposed to have a room, and then there was a bathroom right there, and I was like, "Cool," you know what I mean? Like it was private access, quote unquote. And then, dude, so there were people in there in the backyard with extension cords airing up air mattresses to sleep outside under a freaking lawn awning, dude. And I remember whenever we realized what was going on, we were like, what the fuck? And so we all kind of gathered up together as a thing. I canceled my fucking credit card because all I had to do was put a fucking down payment of fucking $10. I canceled that bitch. And then we figured out a way because he went and bullshit, and he was like, all right, we got to go. And then we went out, and then we just never went back. And we were like, dude, hell no. So, dude, there was people sleeping outside in blow-up air mattresses.
Wow.
Yeah, in 110 degrees. And then we went to it was in Vegas, dude.
Yeah, but I didn't realize it wasn't that hot.
It was hot that day, dude. I was like, man, dude, we're gonna end up sleeping outside. Hell no. And then so we went from there. So that was my first experience in quote unquote Las Vegas, right? Mm-hmm. We went from there to Fremont Street.
Okay.
Not knowing anything else about Vegas, anything about that noise, and that was my first impression of Vegas.
You still got to enjoy the bling, 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 and all the sounds and lights and all that shit.
I don't drink and gambling. I don't know, man. I'll lose time if I play blackjack or 21, some shit like that. I'll lose a day and a half. Yeah,
but all the little machines that you pull, none of that. No. There's a lot of kind of video game almost type of stuff, and that didn't.
No, not for me.
The strip clubs, maybe?
Yeah, but what am I going to do? I'm going to be like, oh, she likes me. She likes me. She likes me. Hell no, dude. She likes me. She likes me so much. Wow, she sure does like this thing. She must think my name is George Washington or some shit. Like, fuck, dude.
And what else do you do after that?
So they
eventually made it to the Strip.
Yeah, eventually made it to the Strip, and then I was like, "Oh, this is Vegas. Vegas is tight." And then because I don't drink, I haven't drank in like 10 years, so I rented. You know how they have those bicycles and everything that you can like rent and like check out for a day.
Yeah.
I got this like day pass for $5 that had unlimited 30-minute rides. So I just like went and drove around like the casinos and everything in Vegas on this bike, just like smoking and just like riding around for like 7 hours. And I was like, this is tight. And then I just did that. I went to White Castle, and then I went somewhere else to get some food, and then I just kind of like trucked around on a bicycle. That was pretty cool.
Well, it has changed a lot, I can tell you that much.
Yeah.
Now they have a monorail.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh.
And they take you from the Strip to downtown and stuff like that.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, well, that's cool.
Now they have dispensaries.
Yeah.
They're everywhere. The smoking marijuana is everywhere, literally.
See, okay, so whenever I went...
And they also have these tours, the tour buses where they take you from dispensary to dispensary, so you can try.
That's too much, almost, man.
Know,
you know
tell
what I
me
mean,
about
dude?
it.
You're just like baked in the
I was
seat.
already in trouble with the party bus, which is just alcohol.
Yeah.
And now they got all this stuff. It's like, whoa, that's too much.
Dude, that's a lot, dude. I wonder what the amount of people who go on that compared to like who like pass out. You know what I mean? Because you know at least like one person in a tour is gonna just get stoned, and you're just like,
he's out.
how long have I been asleep for?
Yeah,
like 4 hours, dude.
He's out for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. But it's a lot of fun. I really recommend it.
I ended up actually in an arcade, of course, at Fremont Street, because they have like the best arcades. Shout out Nerd Bar.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I just ended up hanging out over there, like playing video games and shit with the people who were working. It was fun. And then the next day, I went and...
So they have something for everybody, pretty much. So
yeah,
okay.
Pretty much every... Yeah. I mean, Vegas is cool. I did see like a lot of weird stuff. Like I saw this lady just pass out on the floor, and then everybody just like crowded around her, and then she was just gone. And I was like, what the fuck just happened? And like just gone. I was like...
I made O.J. Simpson in Vegas.
No shit. How was that?
It's a bit of a story.
Do you think his glove fit?
I used to work as a salesman, and we used to wine and dine on customers. So whatever the customers wanted, we did that
You
for
were
them.
whining and dining with OJ with juice?
No,
dude?
hold on. So I got this customer from the middle of the country, and he never been to strip clubs. He's a very innocent kind of guy, and he was insisting, let's go to strip. And it was a Wednesday.
Yeah.
Around 5:30, 6 o'clock. I'm like, this is too early for a strip. But he was insisting too much, and he's a customer, so you gotta make him happy. I'm like, okay, let's go to the strip club. Although we knew it was gonna be empty or whatever.
Right.
So we got there, and yeah, it was empty. It was just the three of us, which is me, my boss, and our customer, and then I don't know the two guys in the back, which I don't know if they work there or what the fuck. And of course the girls, right? Because the girls have to be there.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even a half an hour. O.J. Simpson's walked in with another black guy. I don't know who he was. And my boss could recognize him.
So what year was this?
That was after he got released.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, he was innocent. He was a
Dude, I have that audio book that if I did an audio book, I listen to that whenever I go on trips. It's got he did it.
Hold on. He got in, and my boss gets up. He says, hey, OJ, because he recognized. But he said it like he knew him or whatever. But obviously, he didn't. And he's like, hey, what's up? Oh, sit with us. I'm like, okay, because there was no one else, you know what I mean? So the two black guys sit with us. Before you know, all the girls gravitate, to us because we were the only ones there. My boss is paying for everything or whatever. We're having a great time. We're drinking Coronas. He liked Coronas and shit. And we're having a great time. The funny thing to me is that none of the black girls got close to us. None of them. The black girls went into a corner and they're like,
really?
Yeah, bro. And to me, that didn't make sense because to me, it's like,
weren't they like his hoes?
He killed a white one, not a black one. What's your problem? You know what I mean? To me, that didn't make sense. And after we got really fucked up, and then the place got, started getting crowded, and they were bothering him a little too much, other people. So he said, nah, I gotta get out of here. Okay, I'll just this and that. And by then we were kind of like, drunk basically.
Yeah.
And when he said good night to me or whatever, I shook his hand and I asked him, because I told I'm gonna do it. I told my boss, my boss, no, don't do it.
No shit.
Don't do it.
Here we go.
Rafa, don't do it. No, I'm gonna do it. I was drunk. I didn't give a fuck. And I shook his hand and asked him, do you do it?
No shit.
I asked him.
Hell yeah. What did he say? Fuck you.
He looked at me directly in the eye and he said no.
You believe it?
The way he said it.
But that autobiography, though.
But the way he said it is like if you were asking me if I did it.
Oh.
And I don't think, no, I didn't. Just like
what
that.
do you think he's gonna be like? Yep, sure did. Yep,
kind of.
Maybe. And then would disappear into the night.
So that was funny to me, and yeah, that's how I met him.
Wow.
I know the time I run into him in Miami, but that was another 2 or 3 years later after that.
You ran into him again?
Yeah.
You had episode 2, Rafa and OJ?
No, we weren't staying in the same hotel in Miami.
Did you wave at each other? Were you like, yo?
Nah, of course. I knew he wasn't going to recognize me.
Right.
You know how many millions of people he met. You
right,
can't
for real.
Nah, there's no way. But that was one of the funny stories that I have from Vegas.
Nice. Vegas is interesting. I think I'd like it more if I drank, dude. Because most of those tables, you can
But you never been a drinker, have you?
I did.
You did
back
for a while?
Yeah, dude. Back whenever I was first starting to do comedy, I drank.
Okay, so let's back it down. a little bit. When do you start doing comedy?
Okay, so my first showcase that I had was in 2015, and that was at Gatsby's, which is what modern.
But I believe you started doing open mics before that.
Before that, yes, I went my first open mic. I was actually not going to do stand up at all. I was upset because I got dumped and I moved back to town for a little bit because I was up in Washington State, and one of my friends was like, hey man, there's this open mic, we can go and have some fun, laugh at some people, you need to get out of the house and quit being a jackass, you know what I mean? So I walks up,
so he's trying to cheer you up.
Yeah, like I didn't know anything was going on, and then so he ordered me a beer, and then I said I got the beer, and then he walks away, and then he comes back like 5 minutes later, and he said, hey, so that guy over there, because it was Corey Wood. Yeah, this was back when it was back then. He goes, that guy's name's Corey. He's running this thing. I told them to put you on the list because we think that you're funny, and they're gonna call you up. And if you don't go up, you're gonna look like a bitch. What are you gonna do? And I was like,
so he really put you in the spot like
he
that?
Put me on the spot, and then he was like, pussy. But I've known this kid since I was like 3 years old, so I was like, man, fuck you. Shout out, Colin.
All right.
Yeah, dude. So I didn't even want to do it, and then I did it one time, and I was like, oh, this is pretty good. And then my friends were like, we'll go with you and make you go. And then I was like, cool, whatever. So my friends started
So obviously you did like it. You did good, I assume.
I had fun. I mean, do you really you know what I mean? Because you have all those bloated expectations of the first time doing comedy, you know? Because really you're like, I did good, but in reality it's you did good because maybe you were imagining in your head that you did good and you maybe didn't, you know?
Sometimes it's the luck of the beginner's luck, you know what I mean? It's just I've seen that myself with guys who just do it for the first time. You're like, oh, check, he actually did pretty good. And
then the overconfidence of a couple other sets, and then after the couple other sets, they start to get.
But to me, also at the same time, it's obviously that you did pretty good because if you would have bombed like a motherfucker, you would have never done it again.
Probably.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, so I'm such an introvert.
So you didn't
do
too bad. You didn't do too bad. At least you did all right.
And then we used to have this place called the Litter Box, right? And
I heard about it.
And it was like a hookah lounge, and they had snacks and shit. But it had there must have been 10, 12, 15 cats living in the walls of that place, too, because that place, it was called the Litter Box. There was
for a reason.
Yeah, you could smell, it smells like cats, but they used to do it in the back room. Back room was cool because they also did this thing. I don't understand because I went away. I've disappeared, you know. I've disappeared for years and then come back. And they did this improv questions and everything like that, and where you put it in the hat and then somebody like the audience hands out that, and then they were really big on that. So it was really just I don't know, I was just trying to have fun, and then I just kept going, and yeah.
And you said you did your first showcase where?
2015.
2015. Do you remember the place?
I have the. Dead air. 2015. Let me find it real quick. But yeah, it was at Gatsby's.
Gatsby's.
Yes, sir.
I never heard of that one. I heard the Tiki Bar or something.
Oh yeah,
like
dude,
that.
I did Freaky Tiki Tavern too. We did Bruce's Laugh Off, which is what like predecessor and like turned into like the Lubbock Laugh Off. It used to be at Wes's bar back in the day with like. Do you remember Dave? Shout out Dave.
Which Dave? I've met a few.
Crazy Dave. Shout out Crazy Dave.
Most Daves I know they're crazy. So which one?
Dave Longren. Shout out Dave Longren.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but he was there, and we would go all the time. And then I also, so for comedy, Lubbock used to have these like gong shows and everything like that. And it was at Adolph's. I don't even remember whenever this was. And so they had this thing where it's like, come show your talent. And if you get gonged, you get eliminated. And
You're talking about Ados, the one by Silver
the
Bullet.
karaoke bar.
Really?
Yeah, they had a gong show. And there was like,
Okay.
it must have been like,
What year was that also, more or less?
17, 18, 2016,
Okay.
17, 18, 19,
Right.
something around there.
Because I
don't
performed
know.
there a couple of times.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice. And so they had a gong show, and there's like, I said this already, showcase of talent. But so they had like all kinds of people. People were taking this not seriously and like getting gonged off immediately. And then there would be people who like could sing and they did karaoke. I went up there and then I did comedy. I was up there for like 7-8 minutes the first time, and I got off before I got gonged, so I like made it into the next round. And then I went up like 3 different times that night. The second time I think I did like 10 minutes or something like that, because it was whenever Pokemon Go was really relevant and everybody was playing that.
God.
That's a time reference. Timestamp that. That's the time.
2014.
Something
somewhere
after that, I think, maybe. That's whenever, because I did that. But then I lost to a guy who bribed the judges who did karaoke, because all of the judges came up to me and they were like, I am so sorry. I am so sorry. He bought us shots. And I was like, cool, dog. Cool. That's awesome. What am I going to need these 10 free entry passes to Buffalo Springs Lake for, dude? Like, you know what I mean? I mean, it was cool, though. I mean, I kind of expected it because it kind of seemed
But
like
this gong show it wasn't just comedy. It was singing.
No, it was
and
singing,
karaoke.
people up there like dancing all crazy and stuff like that. Yeah, it was
Okay.
everything.
Everything. All right.
Yeah, I did that twice, and I got second and I got third. But I lost to people doing karaoke both times. So I was like, man, it was.
You ever done the World of Beer?
I did the World of Beer. I did the Lubbock Laugh Off a couple times. Like
I remember at least seeing you once or
Yeah.
twice there.
I did like 2 or 3 times, I believe, and then because
You ever won that one or
No.
that close?
that format for me is just so crazy. Like, it's so hectic.
To me, I never
chaotic.
done it for the same reason. I just
Yeah.
can't. I it's not my style. I just can't.
Yeah, like thinking of it on the spot. I mean, it's cool. Props to you if you can do it. But I don't know, man. Like the whole like getting on and like catching your flow and then going back and then doing that, and it's always like a different setup. I think it's crazy. I liked doing it. I liked doing the one at Jake's, and yeah. But
Talking about Jake's, I have a show coming up at Jake's
yeah?
for Father's Day.
nice. Who's on
They
there
put
with you?
one together. Sweat Chuckles,
Let's go.
Timothy Williams,
Okay, Loke.
and this and another couple of guys, I believe.
Nice.
For that,
All right.
Father's Day. Do you have any shows coming up?
I have a show on Failed to Render on June 19th.
Field the Render?
Failed to Render.
Okay, where's that?
That is in VR chat.
Oh, okay.
On
VR.
June 19th, and it's a curated show. And
What do you mean by that?
It's people that they pick. It's not just an open mic.
Oh, okay,
So
okay.
it's like they have.
So you've been selected to perform for that. Okay.
I did one last week or week before that as well, and yeah, it's fun. It's great. I like to stay home, so it's like perfect.
Okay.
Yeah. I also kind of host a podcast called Couch Co-op at the Hideout. We're very inconsistent, but if you look it up on YouTube, you can find it.
Say it one more time, but slowly for those who we don't listen that fast.
Couch Co-op at
Couch Co-op.
the Hideout.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And how often do you put a...
Oh, dude, it's very sporadic, but whenever we do, it's fire.
Okay. And
Yeah.
what is it about your podcast?
We're just playing video games, really. Like, so, yeah, I will have, like if you, like, whenever you come on, you can pick a game. You were talking about Hitman. Was what we were talking about. And so we would just sit there and then maybe like bump the difficulty up to like hard and stuff like that, and then like fail all the time, and then just like crack jokes. And it's like, it's almost like a gauntlet. Like I had AJ Lucero, shout out DJ Lucy. I had him on there.
Oh,
We
good
were
friend of
playing-
mine.
Yeah,
AJ.
dude, good guy. Solid dude. And I had him on there and we played Tekken. And then I had Chrissy Covington on there and we played Bugsby and World of Slime.
Bugsby.
So like it's
Okay.
a game on the Sega Genesis because I can get any game that we're looking for, and it's kind of like I
bet you have all the consoles, don't you?
have everything. Yeah.
Yeah, I bet.
I'm a collector, dude, or a hoarder. You decide.
Probably. What else do you collect besides video games?
Pokemon cards. Shout out Pokemon cards. Yeah.
Pokemon cards.
Yeah.
Okay. I remember having a. Not for me, for my son. He had a collection for a little bit.
I just grew up watching Pokemon, and like it's been a while. I haven't kept up with it in years, but I'm a hoarder.
Are you into Japanese?
I have Japanese. I have some Korean stuff. I have everything. I have some graded cards, which are like where you send them off, and then based off of their quality and condition is how highly you can grade them. I have a couple of those.
Were you into their comics or manga or whatever you guys call it?
Manga, I haven't really. Like I've watched a bunch of anime.
I figured
Yeah.
something like that. Okay.
I read. So like as far as manga, I read Dot Hack a long time ago, and no, I collect. I have a bunch of like old Nintendo powers too. I just collect a bunch of random stuff, and then like PCs and video games. And,
Okay.
yeah, it's like a library.
So you have a store in your house?
Yeah.
How many video games? You probably don't even know how many video games you have, do you?
Well, like so that's probably like 100, something like that. 100, and then like probably 100 DVDs, something like that. But that's just at my house, and then we also. Yeah.
You got a storage unit somewhere?
No, it's a family. It's a family thing at this part, man.
Oh, okay.
I'm way past. It's way past me. My brother has all kinds of stuff. Like that's wild. Yeah,
Well, that's impressive.
it's fun. I enjoy it. It's kind of weird though, but
Why?
the way that technology has increased so rapidly over the last 20 years.
Let me ask you something. How old are you right now?
33.
33.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that technology has affected your normal regular life, like your dating and your getting married, having kids, stuff like that? Are you too much into what they call your avatar and your online life?
I'm just very picky whenever it comes to women, to be honest with you, because like I've had a bunch of relationships where the girl's like, I don't drink that much, and that just means that like she doesn't drink in the days that don't end in Y. You know what I mean? Like all the time, dude. And then it's like, oh well, this is kind of weird, you know? I mean, I'm not. I don't know. That's just me.
No, because you mentioned you spend a lot of time at home.
Mm-hmm.
So I understand you're in your computer, you're in your video games, and therefore I've seen a lot of that for the last 10, 15 years where kids or young men or even some ladies, they spend so much time and their life is more based now on what's online more compared to what the rest of us call real life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
How are you? Where are you at in that?
I can see
How would
how
you judge
somebody
it?
could.
How would you judge yourself?
Like present tense or like past tense? Because that's two different questions. So I used to play World of Warcraft like 16 hours a day for a
So
while.
that right there has to have some effect in any person.
That's
right
an
there.
addiction. That's like
Correct.
yeah, and
So therefore, you didn't have a
so I have the best
life outside of the game, pretty much.
I mean, yeah.
Besides eating and going to the bathroom and taking a shower from time to time,
right?
everything else was just the game.
And then as I grew older, I learned like.
So that was when you were 15, 16? What? How old were you when you were doing that?
22, 23, 24.
Oh,
yeah, dude.
you're a bit old.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I'm a nerd. And
no, that's okay. I mean, there's no change. I'm not trying to make you feel bad at all. I'm just want to see the audience hear from someone who has experience in going through that.
It's like I can totally see it, but like I switched. I kind of managed to balance it about like 5.5, 6 years ago. Whenever actually I moved.
So at one point it hit you.
Yeah.
You realized that okay, I do have a problem.
Yeah.
I do have an issue. Let me fix
you just
that.
cut back.
Let me go back to okay, and you start cutting back a little. I don't think you do that, right? Like any other addiction, you gotta manage it somehow, right?
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
But whenever I started to look after my niece, is whenever it all really started to like change and everything. Because then like been watching after this little girl. Her name's Aubrey. Cool kid. Never really like had very much to do with children, but after that, it kind of just like switched.
She brought you back into reality.
Almost in a way,
taking care of the little baby.
Like I was doing things. I was
seeing the miracle of what real life is, because especially for kids, especially when they're a little kid, everything is magical, everything is new to them, everything's so exciting and crazy and cool, right? So that has to have some effect on you when you see your niece like that.
Well,
and you're
like,
wait a second.
So like I can't do anything because like I also feel like that like playing video games and doing everything like that also kept me out of getting into like a lot of trouble in a way. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, of course.
Because like other than that,
that,
like what am I going to be doing like if I'm not playing video games? I would rather just like, because if you stay inside, and
you're not in jail, you didn't get a DUI, you didn't get in fights, you didn't get stabbed or shot at.
I just talk shit to people on the internet. Yeah.
Well, you could get away and say whatever the fuck you want.
Exactly, and then it's reciprocated back, dude. Yeah, that's also something that's weird with like with like people and stuff like that. It's like you can always tell, like, because like online video games, people are just trolls, dude. It's great. It's great, and like some people.
You got into that shit?
Huh?
Did you got into being a troll and just fuck with people just to fucking hurt them and shit like that? Like mentally fucking fuck with them?
That's how you play the game, man. It's all about the game. How you play it. What's that? Which wrestler?
That's how you psych them out? Oh shit, that's not a right way to play to win a video game.
That's how you play, man. Because everybody's doing it, dude. You know.
I get it, but don't things get out of hand sometimes?
No, not really.
Yes, I actually heard about swatting and shit like that.
Oh, yeah, dude.
So shit gets out of control. Yeah. That's fucking out of control. Yeah. I'm not saying you did it. I'm just saying I heard about that shit, and you're like,
that's crazy though, because they just show up.
That is crazy, bro.
Because somebody else,
because you get to identify the real identity of that person, where they live, and then you get to fuck with them.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Yeah. It's part of the thing.
You just know not to do it, you know? I mean,
logical people and people who have a heart and half a brain will think like that. Right. But see, some bitches, they're so into like, because in a way you feel like a god.
Yeah.
He said it like, yeah.
In a way, yeah, because no one, because we call them, because whenever what it is whenever people talk shit. Have you ever heard the term like keyboard gangster?
No.
Because that's like the term of somebody who like talks shit online. It's like, yo, you little keyboard gangster.
One of the worst things that I remember playing a video game like Grand Theft Auto 5, whatever the fuck. We playing online. We just cruising around and looking at the city and checking out.
So good, right?
Yeah, and it's amazing. All of a sudden, you got this guy in a helicopter. You just fucking
and he's like, "Fuck you!"
And doing it for the rest of us, and you're like, "What? There's no way I can."
He's the champ, myself. Dude. That's the god of the server.
God.
Yeah.
And fuck the rest of us, and that to me was the worst that I experienced myself.
And like you can have those jets that can hover.
These sons of bitches, they're just there to fuck with people, and that's how they get the kicks.
Because GTA is a pay-to-win game. You buy like these loan shark cards and stuff like that, and then you can get whatever you want. It's great though. It's a good game.
I know it's a good game, but I'm just saying that kind of bullshit is too much.
Yeah, I agree.
No?
Yeah. It happens. You just got to defend yourself, man.
Again, I'm in a little car.
Yeah.
With a little gun.
That's whenever you go and then you go to the menu and then you select join new server and then you switch.
I guess.
You just got to lose everything.
I got to have you in my corner to teach me how to do that shit. Yeah. No, but it gets too, I hate to say it, it's a bit too much. It's a bit too violent. There's no need for that aggravation, basically.
Yeah. Some people don't have anything else to do with it.
That's how they get the kicks.
Yeah. That's what people,
Wow.
Isn't that wild?
It is. It is to me.
On a video game.
So what else can you tell me about video games? Stuff that I don't know. People usually don't know. Because you're really into this stuff. I know that much.
I enjoy it a lot. The Sega Dreamcast was one of the greatest consoles of all time, and it was ahead of its time. Because it had online that was kind of consistent. Some games are bullshit and pay to win.
I also see
a great way to meet friends. You can have lifelong friends from meeting people off of video games. I still talk.
But is that a real friendship?
I've met up with like all of my online friends, dude. I know.
Oh, you do that? Okay, I didn't know that. Okay,
I met up with my homie Blunted. We've met up a couple times. He's in San Antonio. I met up with him. I met up with this guy named Grim. He's also in San Antonio. And then one of my friends came up. His name's Sniper. He came from Vegas, and we hung out in Colorado. It's really cool, dude, because like it was interesting because we all met on like the lobbies in like Halo 2, which was on the original Xbox, and we were just friends ever since.
It's kind of funny because usually when you meet someone in person and you become his friend, there's something that you like about that person, his body language, the way he looks, the way he acts, and stuff like that. And in a video game, all that shit is out.
Yeah,
it's all about the shit that you talk about it and how good are you at playing.
Yeah.
Those are the two only things that I can see myself, unless you see something else that I don't. That you can say, hey, I want to be friends with that motherfucker. That motherfucker's cool.
Yeah.
Right?
You just get a friend. Yeah, exactly. But it's interesting because, like, man, my friends online talk way more shit than my real friends. Like, my friends in real life. It's great.
It's just like they're professional at this shit. At hating other people. That's what they're good at it.
Exactly. And that's why it's fun.
Oh, wow.
Because no one takes anything seriously. You know what I mean? It's
okay.
Great.
So now going back to the balance that you have found between the video games and real life, how do you see yourself doing that? Are you really looking for a long-term relationship? Do you have a girlfriend at this point? Or
no, I'm single.
Have you ever thinking ahead of time, like, okay, am I gonna get married, or that's just out of the window by now?
I don't know. I mean,
you still wish you have kids? You still wish you have a family? You can create a family, or you just want to play your ass off until you're like 80 or 90 or something?
I don't know, man. I've never really like thought like that. I mean,
it has to. At one point, you have to start thinking.
Yeah.
I'm not saying today or tomorrow, or the next 10 years or whatever, but at one point, it's have to hit you.
Yeah, because I want to have a little shit running around. You know, that would be cool.
You see what I'm saying?
That's
what I'm talking about. Having a girl next to you, experiencing all that stuff. Because I have always believed in the natural thing. Like, you're a baby, you crawl, you're taller, you start walking, you get older, you start running. You're 15, you start to like girls and shit like that. You know what I mean? You're in your 20s, you start dating and shit like that. You're in your 30s or 20s, you get married, then you have kids, and it all progresses. You evolve as a normal, what's called normal, regular human being.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? What's more traditional type of life.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, you're missing so much.
It's just like it's just going to go
You're missing so much.
I 100%
and
agree with
you lost the train.
But then, like, the one thing that I've learned is that if you go looking for it, you're never going to find it. So, like, she'll show up. I mean, I go
So
out.
you're not worried about it. Pretty much,
I mean,
you're going to let it happen.
Like,
if it happens, it happens. And fuck it.
Because if you're not going to be, like, my mom and my sister told me that if you cannot be happy with being by yourself, then odds are you're not going to be truly happy in a relationship. So, like, I'm completely cool with being by myself, and then that's normally whenever, like, a woman shows up, you know what I mean? Like, I'm completely okay.
But at the same time, doesn't that affect you with your social skills?
No.
No?
No.
Really?
I don't think so. I'm an introvert. I'm quiet. I don't really talk.
So that will never change, basically.
No.
That's the way you are.
That's how I enjoy it.
I get it. Huh.
Yeah, I'm just a weirdo.
No, but I don't know. It's just you hear from kids. You know, it's hard to talk to women. It's hard to approach them. It's scary. It's difficult. It's not easy. You know what I mean? All that kind of shit. So when you're always at home, you don't get to practice. You don't get to fail. You don't get to learn those.
Oh, you're saying I haven't failed? I haven't failed?
No, I'm not saying that.
I failed.
I'm putting just examples that when you fail at approaching a girl, you learn from that.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
You keep trying different things until you master the.
Is this your way of trying to say you think I don't get pussy?
No, I didn't say that either. But that's up to you.
He said, you know, whenever you go out and talk.
Again, how old are you?
33.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so, but this age, usually, your age, you already have kids. Yeah. You have a family. You're still thinking about it. You're still open for that, which is cool. Again, it's no judgment over here.
Right, I know.
I'm just saying, I hope it doesn't affect you that you don't have to practice the social interaction.
You think I don't have social skills? I'm just like, no,
the social interaction in a live instead of the video game thingy.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Oh. And again,
I could see, like, if I didn't go outside.
From the outside, because I'm not on the inside like you with the video games. You see what I'm saying?
Because I could see how you're saying about someone who, like, never goes out. I go out. I mean, like if somebody who like 21 hours a day, all they do is that. Yes, 100%. I agree with you.
Okay.
It could affect like.
But you have fun your rounds
Yeah.
where you do go out and you also do
Yeah.
your stuff.
I
Okay.
just go out. I think, yeah.
Perfect.
You just have to know how to talk to people.
That's all I was
Yeah.
saying. Okay, perfect. Good. So we're almost at the end of our podcast. You got anything else to hook up or anything else you want to say to the audience?
Go follow Couch Co-op at the Hideout on YouTube.
Excellent. Thank you for listening to us. I hope you guys like the podcast, the Taco Sandwich, and we hope to see you next time. Thank you. Good night.
Yes, good night.